everyone, thank you for joining me. So this is a stash update, and all the all the items I'm showing today are from Games Workshop or Forge World. So the first item is, and they're all from Lord of the Rings. So the first item is this box set of the King of the Dead and the Heralds. I'm not sure whether these are resin or plastic. Basically, when I first got into the wargaming Lord of the Rings through the Games Workshop Middle-earth system, you could have a detachment of the Army of the Dead, but the rules are that you're supposed to have a champion, and I think it's 12, up to 12 men-at-arms, if you like, or soldiers. Now, unfortunately, the Army of the Dead only had one character, and that was the King of the Dead himself. So you could only ever field him and 12 of his men. So more recently, what they've done is I think these two heralds now allow you to create a further 2 units, so you could have up to 36 soldiers of the dead. Now I need to have a look through my army book for Lord of the Rings to see exactly how these work, but it wasn't just about fielding an undead army. It was the fact that I haven't got any of these figures previously, and I have got obviously a King of the Dead, but I think it's a different iteration. And one of the things I like doing is collecting and painting the different iterations of characters within Lord of the Rings, whether that be those that were actually in the book or those that were created from the films. So that's the first one. So this next one is from Forge World, and it's called The Defenders of Helm's Deep. Now, I don't know whether you recall from the films, there was a young kid basically who had been given a sword to defend Helm's Deep, and he basically stopped and asked Aragorn whether there was any hope, and I think that's what he asked him anyway. And Aragorn takes his sword off him and starts hefting the sword and said that it's a good sword, and asks him what his name is, and he answered, "My name's Halath, son of Hammer." And basically I think Aragorn says to him that there is always hope. This guy, again from the film, the Uruk-hai are standing outside Helm's Deep, and I don't know whether they start chanting or something, and this guy on the battlements, because it's raining, he accidentally shoots an arrow and kills an Uruk-hai. Now, interestingly, he shoots that arrow before anybody else, and he manages to kill an Uruk-hai further than anybody else, so he's even better than Legolas. So we don't actually know his name, just that he was the old man or something. So these are 2 figures that I haven't had previously, so I wanted those in my collection. Next up is Snarger and Grishnak. So Grishnak is the one who basically chases Merry and Pippin into Helm's Deep, and he gets stomped by Treebeard, which is a really cool part of the film. And I think that's the first time we meet Treebeard, who is my favourite character in Lord of the Rings. Snarger I'm not too sure about. I don't know whether he's the one who gets his head chopped off when he tries to take a piece of meat off Pippin, I think, and one of the Uruk-hai chops his head off. I think that may be his name. I think I may have had a Grishnak figure before, but again it may not be in this iteration. Okay, so now we have Guritz and Gothmog's Enforcer. So I think this may be Guritz. If you recall from the films, he walks up to one of the Corsairs of Umbar ships, and basically says something about the scumbags being late or something, only for Aragorn, Legolas and Gimli to jump off the ship, and then the army of the undead to flow off the ship. So I think that's him, and I think this might be Gothmog's Enforcer, but I don't recall him in the film at all. He must be there somewhere, which is why they produced the figure. So again, 2 figures I don't think I've had previously. Okay, so the whole point of buying from Forge World was to get this set. I was just browsing and suddenly realised that this set was available, and I had to have it. This is the invisible iterations of the ring bearers. Now, obviously, you who've read Lord of the Rings will know that there is a ring bearer missing. So we have Isildur in his invisible form, Gollum in his invisible form, Bilbo in the Hobbit iteration, Bilbo Lord of the Rings when he's much older, and then we've got Frodo. And as I say, these, if you think about this from the books, then there should be one other, and that's Sam, because Sam in the Lord of the Ring books, actually, when Frodo gets poisoned by Shelob, rather than letting the ring fall into the orc hands, he takes the ring away. Then he realises that Frodo is not dead when he thought he was dead. So Sam puts the ring on to save Frodo. In the film, all you see is Sam holding the chain with the ring on the end, and he passes it back to Frodo. But in the books, he actually wore it, and he was actually classed as a ring bearer. And there's a whole story behind Sam as the ring bearer that you'll have to read Lord of the Rings to find out what happened to him. These figures I think cost me £30 for the 5. On eBay I've been looking in the past to get some of these, and they've been £30 for an individual figure. So as I say, as soon as I saw that this was available, I had to have it, because I don't have these figures in my collection. So there you go, guys. I wanted to say a quick video showing my new stash ads, but it's taken longer than I expected. Thanks ever so much for watching. I hope to have these on my bench and painted up, because I think they're really cool. Obviously I won't be painting up the invisible ones, but I will need to do the basing for them. Look after yourselves, and I'll catch up with you soon.